Hey Al, this is a video tutorial on inventory valuation using the FIFO, LIFO, and average cost methods. So there's a corresponding note that you can look, but let's walk through how FIFO, LIFO, and average cost would work. The average cost means what we're going to do in this chart that I've posted. You'll see that I have a number of inventory purchases. So in this column A, you'll see that I had beginning inventory of 425 units. They cost me $37 per unit. So the total cost of that inventory, or the value of that inventory to me, is $15,725. I'm obviously going to mark it up and sell it for more, but that's how much I purchased it for from my supplier. I then did a purchase on April 1st, June 1st, August 1st, and October 1st. My total number of purchases was 2,195 units of whatever I'm selling, and that includes my beginning inventory of 425. So that's just the sum of those 5 different purchase moments in the company. And then the total cost for me was $81,555, and I calculate that by just multiplying the number of units times the cost per unit in each of the rows, and then finding my total, adding that total together to come up with $81,555. That will be provided to you in the future in any sort of exercises or discussions or your assignment, so you won't be building this chart. This is something that I provide to you. A couple pieces of information that are really important as well is that during the year, we sold 1,500 units to our customers. Okay, so we had 2,195 units available for sale. And if the word unit is bothering you, then I will say t-shirts. You know, if this is a t-shirt company, we had 2,195 t-shirts available for sale. We sold 1,500. That means we still have 695 units available for sale. And what we want to do is we want to find out what is the value of that inventory now. And because we don't do perpetual inventory, this is for a periodic inventory system, we're not sure when we made those purchases, because in our warehouse or in our back room, we've got all of this inventory that we then bring up to the front to sell to our customers. So we need to find out a way, how much is all of this stuff worth that's left in our inventory? So let's start with average cost. For average cost, there's 2 numbers that are really important we're going to use, and that is the total cost of our inventory and the total number of goods available for sale. So I've already filled out the chart below, but I'm going to show you, I'm just highlighting these numbers so that we know. So to do average cost, what we do is we take the total number of units that are available for sale divided by, the value divided by the number of units to come up with an average cost. So this is the formula. I would go equals 81.55 divided by the 21.95. And it shows me, you'll see that the average cost of my purchases was $37.15. So throughout the course of the year, if I were to look at all of these units divided by the average of all my costs, it would be $37.15. And then to calculate my ending inventory, what I do is I take that $37.15 and I multiply it by this number. So this number becomes important as well. Okay, so this calculation is just simply $37.15 multiplied by my ending inventory of 695, and it gives me that 25,822. So beginning next year, I will have inventory of 695 units at $37.15 each for a value of 25,822. And that's how I ended the year with. So that's an important number, because as we go down here, we had 81,555 goods available for sale. We didn't sell 25,822. Therefore, our cost of goods sold is 55,733. So the 81,000 minus the 25,8 gives us the 55,733, and that is the cost of all of the goods that went out to our customers and that we sold. We would have marked those up for 200,000 or 250,000 and made a profit off of them, but to us it cost us 55,733. Okay, I'm just going to reset these numbers here so that we can go on to the next one. So in my opinion, that's the easiest one, because we just take the total cost of our purchases divided by the number of goods that we bought to come up with an average cost, and then multiply that by our ending inventory to come up with this chart here. So FIFO is a little bit harder to do. Think of FIFO as the refrigerator in a dairy section at a grocery store, or a vending machine even. Let's say a vending machine at your school. The person who fills the vending machine make sure that the oldest items are pushed to the front, and then when we buy them as consumers, so if I buy a Gatorade, the oldest Gatorade is going to pop down, and then it's going to push forward, and as the person comes in and restocks that vending machine, they're going to stock from the back. So we are trying to sell our oldest inventory first. So in doing FIFO, first in, first out, we want to say that the newest inventory is the inventory that is our ending inventory, meaning we sold our old stuff first and we have our newest items, our newest t-shirts, whatever, available in our ending inventory. So to do FIFO, what we need to do is we've got this 695 number, which is critical. All right, so we need to say, if I have 695 items left in my inventory, how am I going to calculate that? So because I sold all of this stuff first, it means I've got to start with my October 1st purchase. So I have 695 items available for sale. 290 of that ending inventory is going to come from October 1st at $41. So I go to October 1st, I put in the 290 units, and they were valued at $41. So I'm using that entire amount for $11,890. However, so I think my ending inventory is 695. I still have 405 units left in inventory that I have to value. So to do that, I go to my next purchase. And because I still need 405 units in inventory, I am also going to use this. So I need 325 at $42. So I go to my August 1st, I had 325 units at $42. The value is those two multiplied, 13,650. Perfect. Okay, so now I have also used my entire August 1st purchase. So now I only need 80 units to value for my ending inventory. So again, I go up here and I notice that on June the 1st, I purchased 555 items. The biggest mistake I see is students will just take that whole 555 multiplied by 38, but we know that's not the case because we have 695 units available for sale, or in our ending inventory, I'm sorry. We valued 290 of that ending inventory at $41. We valued 325 at $42. We don't need 555 units. We actually only need, according to our calculations, 80. So what we'll do is we're going to go to June 1st, and the value was $38. So we're going to take the 80 units that were left over at $38, and they value at $3,040. So our ending inventory in this case is $28,580. To find our cost of goods sold, we take the total cost of our inventory minus our ending inventory of $28,580, and in this case, the cost of goods sold is $52,975. So that's FIFO. Obviously a little bit more confusing than average cost. We're going to spend a little less time on LIFO because we use the same valuation method that we used here, except this time I'm going to give you a bulk barn example. So you are the world's laziest teenager and you work at Bulk Barn, and your boss tells you that you need to top up some of the candy. So what you do is you just throw it on top of the old candy, and when your customers come and scoop it up, they're getting the newest inventory first. So that is LIFO. It's actually no longer used in Canada, but for the purposes of valuing inventory, I think it is valuable. So in this case here, as we are selling stuff, we're actually selling this stuff first, which means this stuff is going to be left in our inventory. So what we'll do for LIFO, and again, I'm going to do this quicker because you can see, we're going to take our January 1st and April 1st inventory, a total of 695 units. So they're going to come from here this time. Oops, missed the color. And we have to make sure that we value 695 of them. So it's going to be 425 units from our first inventory. And then we are going to take whatever's left over, which is 695 minus 425, which is, I think, 270. Is that right? Yeah. So 270 at that cost. And in this case, the ending inventory is 24,365. Again, I'm not taking you through the math because it's the same as FIFO. We just go from a different part of that chart. We then take the total cost of our goods available for sale minus the 24,365, and in this case, the cost of goods sold, or what we sold to our customers, cost us $57,190. So that is FIFO, LIFO, and average cost. You will note that in each example, the cost of goods sold is different, and that's really important for you to note. So in the first example, it was valued at $55,733. In the second example, it was valued at $52,975. And in the final example, $57,190. As you are looking at this, you want to say, if I was a company, I would use the following method: average cost, FIFO, LIFO, and then you would provide reasoning for that. And I'm going to let you work through some of the reasoning, looking at our note and looking at some of our examples and exercises, because I will be looking for that reasoning when we do our final assignment for this unit. So there you go, FIFO, LIFO, average cost. Cheers.